I really want to make sure these are sanded with 600 before we apply base. You got to be very careful. You got to have a fine scratch when you're applying your base coat. Otherwise, those metallics will sit funny in those scratches, and you could create a modeling effect or an inconsistency in your metallic finish. Darius is in the process of taping this up, and then we're going to paint this today. So what we're going to do today is we're going to paint the 2 quarter panels, the deck lid, and the rear bumper. We've got this all masked off. I washed it, tack ragged it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over it with a wet bed, the color blender. Let me show you what we're using. So this is the color blender we're using here. Speed Coat. I got this off Amazon. I did reduce it about 10%, so we got some right here. I'm basically going to put a thin coat over both quarter panels, and then we'll get into our base coat. So we already got our base coat mixed up here, so we'll go right into our base coat after that.
It's not necessary to use a base coat blender on every paint job. Anytime you spray fine metallics, those fine metallics have a tendency to lay funny in some fine scratches that normally wouldn't affect a color. And then it creates a little bit of a modeling effect or a blotchiness in your base coat. So what the base coat blender does is it kind of creates a barrier between those fine scratches and your base coat. So when you go to lay on your base, your metallics are going to lay nice and uniform. They're not going to lay funny in those scratches and create that modeling effect. So I just do this kind of as an insurance policy. So I ensure that I'm going to get a nice uniform finish in those metallics. And it really helps out. It makes a big difference. That's also what sealer's for, but because I had limited area to do my blends, I didn't want to get a bunch of sealer on this vehicle where I had to cover that up with base coat. So clear base, obviously you can put that over the entire panel and you don't have to worry about covering it with base. You can blend out your color and be good to go.
We don't have to clean the gun because it's just clear base coat.
So I'll continue with the base coat with the Intercraft Drizzle D1. This is that low volume, low pressure paint gun that I always use. And there's a lot of them, a lot of different ones around. They're pretty much the same gun. A lot of them are the same gun. They're just different brands, but they're manufactured by the same company. But the reason why I like to use this gun, a low volume, low pressure paint gun when I'm applying my base, is because it consumes so much less materials. So I get a lot of paint savings. My paint goes a lot further with this gun. So this is a perfect gun for DIYers. It sprays clear, fantastic as well. But I am going to use the Segola 4600 for our clear coat, and we'll talk about that later on.